Hello guys and welcome back to Hellstormwargaming. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Welcome to the best Friday in the world so far.
Hooray!
Of all the Fridays that we've had today.
It's Friday!
Tell me, you didn't just say that.
I hate that phrase. Don't ever say it.
Why did you say it then?
Because it's dirty.
I'm joined by the lovely Andy today, who's in a great mood. Andy made a bit of a doo-doo today.
Yeah.
So, when did we last have a battle report then?
But earlier this year when the mic wasn't plugged in, Michael.
We had a great game. It was Drakari versus Astra Militarum.
It was a super game.
It was a really, really good game.
Yeah.
And we filmed it, and then when Andy had left, I realised that the microphone in the camera was ever so slightly hanging out. So it didn't record microphone sound, it didn't record inbuilt microphone sound. It was in far enough that it knew it was there, but not far enough to pick anything up.
It's the Batrep lost to time.
Yeah, so there's just no sound whatsoever. It was just silent for 3 hours, which is great. So we thought today is the day we're going to have another game. It's going to go really great. You've spent the past 6 months
I've spent lockdown painting Imperial Guard and some Age of Sigmar.
Yeah. And I bet the Imperial Guard look really good, don't they?
They look a pucker. They look really good. I'm really happy with them.
They're not here because Andy left them at home.
Yes, they are currently 10 miles away from where we sat on the other side of Sheffield.
So we've got some nice guardsmen, and then we've got some other guardsmen.
No disrespect to Tank's painting skills, but I don't think he painted them with a paintbrush. He used a stick.
Yeah, they're not great. So we've got some nice pictures of Andy's army, and then we've got the rest of the guardsmen put to one side.
They're going to die really quick. Like, ah!
Yeah, they're using Catachans today,
Yes.
which should be really fun. So, as you were going to be using Cadians, but with the Catachan models, because I don't have that many Cadians.
No.
But I'm using Space Marines. I've not used my own Space Marines in donkeys now.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to play those. I'm using some new Indomitus stuff. So are you ready to look at the lists?
Yes, definitely.
Good. Okay, so we're going to start with the Space Marines today. I'm using a single battalion of Blood Ravens that look like Blood Ravens, sound like Blood Ravens, but they're actually Ultramarines.
They've stolen their souls.
Yes, exactly. They've not only stolen the chapter tactic, the warlord traits, and the relics. Now they've stolen their souls and some of the relics from the Horus Heresy.
And their socks.
That sucks, yeah. So I'm using a single battalion. I spend a bunch of CP. I think I spend 4 CP before the game starts. Yeah, I spend 4 CP before the game starts. So, in my battalion, I have my Warlord, who is a Primaris Captain from Indomitus, who's also a Primaris Chapter Master. So that's 2 CP.
That's 2 CP down the Swanee. Yeah.
His Warlord trait is going to be Adept of the Codex. So, on a 5+ he gets command points back when I use a stratagem.
Right. Recycling.
Yeah, and then I spend a CP to use Exemplar of the Chapter to give him a second Warlord trait, which is Master of Strategy.
Right.
So I can point to a unit at the start of my movement phase within 6 inches and be like, you're in the tactical doctrine for this turn.
That's a handy trait. That's worth taking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cheeky. There's a stratagem you can do it as well. I think it's called Squad Doctrines. And that's done at the start of the movement phase. You can do the same thing, so I could do it to 2
So you can
units.
maintain that flexibility through the game. That's good.
Then I have a Primaris Lieutenant, also from the Indomitus box set, because I think these ones are actually really cheap for what they are. And he's going to be taking extra relic. He's going to take the Seal of Oath.
Ooh, what does that do?
So that's essentially a recipe for 1 unit of your army, so I can break it down and make my own.
Yeah.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man.
Also, reroll hits and wounds against that unit.
Which is actually useful.
Yeah. So these 2 units, again, because they've got like a Storm Shield, which is not a Storm Shield, but is a Storm Shield.
Yeah, which is the future Storm Shield, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, see, their Lieutenant with his quite good sword.
Yeah.
The Storm Shield as well is actually really strong.
He's got good utility, hasn't he? I mean, instead of just a guy that's just going to fire his assault bolter rifle at people, he's going to actually, you can chuck him and stuff, you can actually make a bit more use out of him. So he's a bit more utility, and he's got a bit more survivability with his storm shield. So
yeah, exactly. Because that's the main thing. Because like in tournaments and stuff, like sniper rifles are so prevalent because everyone wants to get rid of chaps masters, want to get rid of lieutenants.
Yeah.
Now you've got storm shields on them, which Primaris can't take currently. And I like his pistol as well. So they're the HQs. Then I have 4 troops. I have 2 units of 5 infiltrators, and then 2 units of 10 intercessors with a power fist on the sergeant, and they've got Stalker bolt rifles, so that's the heavy version.
Right, okay.
So high AP, 2 damage, which is really nice. So they're strength 4, so some of your tanks aren't too bothered about it, but if you do chip a wound, it's...
Plinking wounds off, isn't it? So if it's 2 wounds, it's useful.
So then I have 4 elites. I have a little bit of an elite that I didn't want to take, but I ran out of points. So I'll start with him. I've got an apothecary, a firstborn apothecary. Yeah,
so the firstborn apothecary can fix the secondborn
everyone else.
Marines.
Yeah, exactly. So I did want to take an ancient, but I couldn't quite fit one in without losing 2 intercessors, so I didn't see it as worth it. And then I've got a unit of 5 aggressors with the Boltstone gauntlets.
And they're petrifying as well.
Yeah, they're really nasty. That's, again, in the tactical doctrine, they can move and still shoot twice because they're counter standing still.
Yeah.
And then there'll be AP1 as well.
So generally unpleasant.
Generally unpleasant, yeah. A lot of people are running these at the minute. Mainly as salamanders, but as Ultramarines are still really good. And then I have 2 relic elites. I have a relic Contemptor Dreadnought with 2 twin las cannons.
Yeah, I want to kill that first.
I'm not surprised. Did you know he came down in points for 9th edition? He's one of the few units in the game that actually went down points. He only went down 5, but still.
Yeah, he's an auto-include, isn't he? You're going to see a lot of them until the nerf bat swings.
Yeah.
Something skyrockets in points.
I'm hoping in the Forge World book, whenever it comes around, they get rid of relic, but also make them like 200 odd points and not BS2.
Yeah.
And then I've got a relic Whirlwind Scorpius, speaking of other broken stuff.
Yep, another broken unit.
He can shoot twice if he stands still. But then from turn 2, because he's in the tactical doctrine, he can move and shoot twice. It's like strength 6, -2 and 2 damage at 3d3 shots, I think.
He'll be damaging Basilisks on 4s.
Yeah. He doesn't like Basilisk, funnily enough.
Yeah, well, the Basilisks are going to be looking at him quite closely too.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be, there's 3, there's some of them.
So they're the elite. And then I've got a unit of 3 Outriders, because I really like these for playing the mission, being around the board, being able to get engaged on all fronts, grabbing an objective. Got a couple of nice stratagems to give them invulnerable saves as well. Like a 3+, which is nice. Then 3 units left. We've got a Devastator squad. And there we've got a Sergeant. We've got 4 Grav cannons. And we've got the Armorian Cherub. Again, another nasty unit. And then they're riding in a drop pod, as you probably expected.
Yeah, totally.
And then we've got 3 Eradicators, and that's the list.
Again, also most unpleasant.
Yeah. We've basically said that 90% of my list is unpleasant. I think the only thing you said was nice was the characters, but just because they're pretty.
I think the Space Marines now, they're back where they should be, where they've got answers to everything, whereas back in the early days of 8th, they didn't really have answers. You had to go for sort of really horrible stuff like Leviathan spam.
Yeah.
But now that they've got answers to everything, I think when the Codex comes out in October...
Yeah, October.
It'll be interesting to see how it changes and how many wounds everything has, what toughness everything is.
Yeah, the fact that the entire game's going to get rebalanced around Space Marines is really interesting because they've stayed the same for years now.
Yeah. I have answers to what you have. If it comes off, that's fine. If it doesn't come off,
that's Warhammer.
It's a dice game, so
we will see.
As Neil would contest, it's a dice game, and the dice hate it. So.
Exactly. So, without further ado, let's go look at your list. Astra Militarum.
Astra Militarum. This is not the list I intended to bring. This is the disclaimer. So if I lose horribly, that's my excuse. I'm laying the excuses on nice and thick right at the beginning because my troops... Yeah. So...
They look nice. What we'll do, we'll put some pictures on of your troops. the ones that should be here.
This is what you could have had. It's like Bullseye. Here, what you could have worn. Some of you younger people won't have the faintest idea.
I remember Bullseye. Probably because it was on gold, maybe, before it became, what's it now? Is it UK TV or something like that?
Yeah, something that's terrible garbage.
Yeah. In one, Andy's Guardsman.
Yeah. In the wrong house, Andy's Guardsman. If I ring my wife and get to bring him, she'll be like, I can imagine that response.
Yeah, that'd probably definitely
drive to where we are, darling.
No.
So anyway, back to the Guard.
Okay.
Astra Militarum. So I've got a single battalion. I was toying with the idea of bringing a brigade, but I wanted to squeeze some units into a single blob for stratagem reasons. There's a debate going. I mean, there's discussions within the group about sort of which is better, a brigade or a battalion. I think there's arguments for both. My gut feeling is always to bring a brigade, but you know,
because you just have so many bodies and so many cheap units.
Yeah, you can just fill the board, and I think sort of board control is quite important now, and I think the Guard can do that with even cheap enough tanks. So anyway,
yeah, because like battalion used to be the standard, but it is still the standard for most armies. But now you'll find that some elite armies will just use a patrol, like Custodes, but then Guardsmen will have to use a brigade because they want to keep their detachment down.
Yeah. You don't want to have lots of detachments, and stuff like Supreme Command detachment isn't the thing it was anymore. So I have as my warlord, a company commander. He's got voice of command as his warlord trait, who can issue an extra order, which is useful when you haven't got masses of company commanders. I have a feeling he's just going to get offed fairly quickly, but he can issue 3 orders, which is just useful.
That's pretty good.
He's got Kira Sequilla just to do a bit of recycling. If he doesn't recycle any, that's fine. I think it's just the other 2 HQs are tank commanders. They've both got demolisher cannons in the turret. They've both got plasma cannons in the sponsons. One of them's got a heavy bolter in the hull, and the other one's got a last cannon in the hull.
Nice.
The one with the last cannon in the hull has actually got the tank ace strat on top of the warlord trait. So I've actually given him slow and purposeful, which is actually reroll 1s to wound.
Nice.
Which on a strength 10 gun,
very tasty.
that's quite good. So you can, and it's on the smaller boards and 24-inch range, that's actually quite handy.
Yeah.
Especially with the sort of Catachan reroll number of shots, you can actually get a fair amount of utility out of that. It makes that main gun quite useful.
Yeah, I really rate the demolishers ever since Dan showed me them.
Yeah.
Really good.
So I've only got 4 infantry squads now because I've had to sort of shuffle the army about.
Put some nice pictures of some just anything.
Kittens, I don't know. nice mountain
down.
views. Let's have a Bob Ross moment of happy little trees.
Just not happy little cow.
Oh, hang on. I've got happy little tree. Look, I can't do a Bob Ross impersonation.
Look at this nice tree.
Look at the nice tree. Look at the tree, don't look at the Catachans. That's that. There's enough of that.
There's 40 of them.
There's 40 of them. There's no upgrades. Who knows how long they'll live.
Andy was saying he wants to charge them at me just to get rid of them.
Make them go away. Run, run, run. That's the order. The only order they got in. Run, run, run.
Are you sure you want to leave them off the objective in the middle of the board?
No, run, run, run.
Just go away.
So I've got, in my elites, I've got 4 Bulgrins, half with slabs, half with brutes.
Nice.
Just for their mix of invans and high saves.
I really rate Bulgrins.
Yeah. 4. I mean, I would get a lot more, but I have plans. Anyway, it may never happen, so I don't need to talk about it. So don't worry about it.
No promises.
No promises. So I've got a heavy weapon squad with mortars.
There's some nice infantry on them.
Yeah, I have the infantry on the heavy weapons. They look all right, don't they?
Yeah.
They look all right. Yeah. It'd be nice if you had like a whole brigade's worth of them painted up, wouldn't it? Spent lockdown painting them up. And command squads there.
That's what this entire game's going to be about, guys. It's just going to be me reminding Andy that he's forgot his models. He's going to use that.
Yeah. Hey!
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, carry on. Shut up. And I've got 2 Lehman Russes, both armed the same. I'm having a bit of an experimental phase with Lehman Russes, I think, because heavy flame is the same number of points as heavy bolters. Heavy bolters, you fill them with heavy bolters just for extra DACA. I think because of the fact that there's stratagems means you can still fire, so I'm going to punish a cannon on the turrets and 3 heavy flamers on the hull and sponsons and track guards, and I'm going to literally lob them at Mikey. So he has to do something about them, and even if he gets into combat, I won't take them out of combat, I'll just kill what they're in combat.
Flame whatever you're in combat.
Flame and Punisher, because you can still get the 40 shots on the Punisher cannon.
Yeah, hit on 4s, but still.
5s.
Ah, yeah, the BS.
-1.
Yeah, the BS4.
Hitting on 5s, but 40 shots hitting on 5s. Wounding on 3s.
3s mostly, yeah.
Yeah, wounding on 3s, so you can upset a few intercessors.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think, for cracks and giggles, I think they're going to be quite interesting. They're either going to blow up immediately or do nothing. So I mean, yeah, it's one of those things. And then on top of that, I've just brought an Eversaw Assassin because I love assassins, and I think the Eversaw is a bit more fun. I think the Vindicator, it still has some utility. I think he's at much higher risk than he used to be because he's going to be sat on his own, and he's, you know, it wouldn't take a lot to basically take him out completely.
Yeah, because you can target him unless he's got bodies around him now, so which means you're sacrificing guardsmen to go and sit near him, and they're not exactly hard to kill.
And he's actually quite good at actually tagging people, so even if like the Ultramarines who can leave combat and still shoot, he can then do a shooting attack, and he has a melter bomb. If he tags a vehicle on that vehicle, he can then melter bomb it.
Nice.
For free.
Yeah.
And there's, who doesn't love melter bombing some relic thing? So that's the list. It's on the button, 2,000 points.
Okay. Did you mention those?
Oh!
And those?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you did.
No, I messed them.
Yeah. So that's the list with more stuff on top.
With some more stuff, and there's some, I forgot a slab of 3 basilisks.
Yeah. That's quite an important part.
Because of basilisks. As well as that, I've got 3 scout sentinels with missile launchers and also hunter-killer missiles.
They're quite nasty.
As a squadron.
As a squadron?
Yeah.
Is the missile launcher a normal missile launcher profile?
It's a normal missile launcher profile. So when you fire a crack missile, it's the same profile as... There's the potential to fire 6 on the first turn. On the first turn, there's a strat you can use on the first turn, you know, Mikey.
Oh, really?
Yeah. On a unit, not a model, a unit.
Oh, we might see that.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nasty list. There's quite a lot of stuff that I don't like the look of.
Well, the Catachans. Nobody likes to look at the Catachans.
When I look at a list, I'm like, what do I want to get rid of first? But I can't say the entire army because that doesn't work.
I think just loading up with lots of tanks tends to sort of have a certain impact, doesn't it? Because there's a lot of toughness 8 wounds to get through.
Yeah,
and I know
exactly.
that the Basilisks are only toughness 6, which is not too difficult to kill, but you have to deal with them. You can't just leave them.
They will
hurt you. This is my first game of 9th edition. God only knows what's going to happen.
It'll be fine, I'm sure.
It
Obviously, you've watched loads of Hellstormwargaming battle reports,
Every
both
single
on
one.
YouTube and on the website hellstormwargaming.co.uk.
Of course.
You are well equipped to play Warhammer and beat me because that's pretty much the only games I've had as well. So they're the lists. I never know how to transition from this bit to say bye.
Do a dance.
Very good. So there you go, they're the 2 lists. So if you're watching this as a premiere right now on YouTube, like you should be, then the battle report will be out in like 20 seconds when the video actually ends.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Is there anything you want to say to the people, Andy?
Don't smoke.
And that's all, folks.
Don't smoke. Go watch the battle report and hopefully we'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye now.